Joined now by CPA Ryan Lane via Skype. Ryan, thanks for taking some time with us today.
It's good to be here, Mark.
So we're talking about the recent news that the tax filing deadline has been extended from April 15th, as it normally is, out to July 15th. First of all, we know a little bit about what went into that, the COVID-19 outbreak, but why that July 15th date? Why will that be a sufficient amount of time for people to get their affairs in order in your mind?
Sure. So the Treasury Department decided to extend all filings and payments, which is important to know, without penalties or interest, to July 15th, because that really gives a bridge gap, almost a loan to taxpayers that would owe money. So because people are going to be starting to, be out of work, they're trying to give an extension of payment there so you can hold on to that money for another 3 months.
Are there any exceptions here? Anybody that's not included in this extension?
In the previous iterations of this extension, taxpayers who owed more than $1 million weren't eligible for the extension, but now it's looking like everyone is going to be able to extend that payment and filing date to July 15th. So we're not noting any exceptions right now.
All right, and hopefully nobody watching right now finds themselves in that category.
Exactly.
We should note, though, that if you do owe, you do need to pay now by July 15th as opposed to April 15th, even if you file for an extension at that point, correct?
Correct, yeah. So normally if you file an extension for the April 15th, you had to pay by then, but they've extended that payment date to July 15th. Now, if you do file for an extension after that, you still have to pay by July 15th, but you still get that extra 3 months to make payment until July 15th.
Other side of the coin here, if you're anticipating a return from the federal government, no reason to wait for July 15th. You can still file right now, correct?
Correct, yes. And they're still filing and processing all their returns on the IRS side, so they've ramped up there. So they've made note that if you're looking at a refund amount, file that now and get your return processed as soon as possible so then you can get your refund money back.
All right, a final point before we let you go. We've been talking about federal returns. This applies to state returns here in New York as well, correct?
It does. So Governor Cuomo came out and said that New York will follow with the IRS rules for extension. So if you are a New York State resident and you file in New York State, you can file your New York State return with your federal return by July 15th, so that's not due for the original April 15th deadline. And the AICPA and the New York State Society, along with their fellow societies, have really tried to make sure that that gets extended to everyone.
Well, we certainly appreciate the insight as always, Ryan. Be well, stay safe,
Absolutely.
And we'll talk to you soon as well.
You too, Mark.
If you missed any of our conversation, we'll be sharing it online. Just go to rochesterfirst.com.